MVP to me is Drake May. I think the strength of schedule stuff for Matthew Stafford is valid, but Drake May has a better completion percentage, better yards per attempt, a better passer rating, a better QBR, all the advanced analytics he's better than Stafford in, and he's doing more with less against common opponents. He has better numbers than Stafford, so I understand where some people will say, well, Stafford, his strength of schedule is tougher, but against similar opponents, Drake May has performed better than Matthew Stafford. So to me, that is why Drake May is my MVP this season.
Yeah, I think the schedule stuff got blown out of proportion because I forgot, I'm sorry, someone tweeted out, maybe someone from ESPN. When you look at the past defenses they played, whether it's EPA per play allowed defensively, whether it's QBR allowed, the Rams and Pats is virtually identical. Like in terms of the past defenses each team went up against. The tweet was basically saying the 49ers as an example. The 49ers are a great team. Their defense is sweet. This defense has not been good all season long. But since they're a playoff team, they've won 13 games, it factors in the strength of schedule, which matters. But it's like when the quarterback's going up against the defense, it's maybe not identical, but like statistically, the Jets and 49ers defensively, they're both dog shit. But the Jets, of course, won 3 games and the Niners won 13 or whatever. So when you look at it in terms of the defenses they played, it really isn't that dissimilar. I'm not mad at either pick. My pick would be Drake May because I think I love Drake May. I think that's my number one reason. But just because you can make the argument for numbers and the touchdowns, everything like that, you could make the argument for Drake May and the weapons. Like he had Devontae Adams and Puka for basically the whole season. Puka for the majority. Devontae missed the last 3 weeks or so. And plus you had Kyron Williams and Blake Corum breaks out in the second half, and you have Sean McVay. So for all of the schedule stuff that you could say, I could look at Matthew Stafford's situation and be like, well, look at the situation he's in. He's in maybe the best situation in football in terms of offense when it comes to head coach and weapons room. So I can't sit here and bash too much Drake May when we look at the situation Stafford's in.
I think situation matters. I think also, though, playing in that division, you kind of need a good situation to kind of get through it. But yeah, I got Drake May. I just think he's been the most consistent. I think if you factor in who's had better high leverage moments or who's had the higher peaks throughout the season, it's easily Matthew Stafford. I think some of his big games have been awesome. You know, he's been tearing up teams throughout the year, but I think Drake May has just been consistently good to great throughout every week. I also think people are starting to over-exaggerate the bad games. You know, I think Matthew Stafford would really fuck them up.
The Atlanta game.
It was a couple of those losses late. You know, I think if he would have won the division, I think he would have easily won the award. I think winning that division, it's tough. You know, you got Seattle, you have the Niners, especially in the NFC, which I do think is a better conference. I think if he won, that would have been a difference maker. But being that Drake won it, number 2 seed, new kids on the block, you know, they kind of have a narrative to push to, you know, kind of playing teams like, also another thing, like they're playing a weak schedule, but they're not that good of a team. So essentially, like a lot of these teams they're playing, if you take Drake May off, they're kind of on the same level of just who they are. It's just Drake May is taking them to another level. I think both guys deserve it, but I got Drake May winning MVP.
What an amazing race. Like a genuine amazing race. Like last year, I thought hands down Lamar should have been the MVP. No slight to Josh. Josh wins the award. I just think I saw Lamar Jackson have the greatest regular season of all time. Like it was just that level of efficient. This year, Matthew Stafford was special this season. But Drake May was also special in his own right. There was a certain amount of expectation on the Rams. And I think why I love and appreciate the Rams so much, and Matthew Stafford mainly, is because he, for what he controlled, he exceeded those expectations. Like, we thought that they would be the best wide receiver duo in the league. And as great as Tay was in the red zone, he wasn't this overwhelming, dominant Devontae Adams like we know. It was Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua, who, spoiler, my offensive player of the year. He was dominant, amazing, missed a game. But the constant every single week was Matthew Stafford dicing up defenses. Now, the one game where you look at and you want back, if you're the Matthew Stafford truther of being the MVP, is the game versus the Falcons. Because Drake May that same week threw for 5 touchdowns against the New York Jets. But the week before, on December 18th, Matthew Stafford against arguably the best defense in the league, division on the line, against Seattle, goes for over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. It was one of the best performances by a quarterback this season. He fell short. His team fell short. And that's an unfortunate
those 2 games, you win
He
the
wins
MVP.
that game. Fuck the Falcons game. He wins that game. It's their division.
Yeah.
It's their
That
division.
Falcons game was bad, though.
It was a bad performance, and he definitely did struggle.
The odds literally changed after that game.
It's true. However, one game does not change an entire season for what Matthew Stafford accomplished. I get the race was close. To me, it wasn't one game difference close. Because if you want to say that, then I could use the same argument with Drake May gagging against the Bills.
Yeah.
The only difference is Bills aren't Seattle good, and they weren't able to steal the division away from them. But again, this is not to take anything away from Drake. I think Drake has already stamped himself as a top 5 guy. I think Drake has stamped himself as the franchise quarterback for them. I think Drake has stamped himself as one of the future faces of this league already. He is that great. With the underwhelming supporting cast that he has had, what he's been able to accomplish is wildly impressive to me. I just think Matthew Stafford and this Rams offense were so overwhelmingly dominant. And when you're the leader of the helm, I think you deserve that award.
My offensive player of the year is JSN.
Great.
I think he's been the most consistently elite and durable player all year long. His worst games are games where game script is not as in his favor and the Seahawks dominate, like the Vikings game where he had 23 yards receiving. But then his second lowest was 72 yards. Like every week he showed up, he had dominant weeks, and he was the biggest reason why the Seahawks went from the 18th ranked scoring offense to the 3rd ranked scoring offense. And he is the best player in our offense, and he made them go. And I think this year he was the best wide receiver in football.
What did he have, 1,700?
Yeah, he close to
1790.
He had
1700.
1790.
Welcome to the 1,700 club.
Yeah.
Puka
JSN.
did miss a singular game
he
and
had like
was
15, right?
70
No, he had
yards
1700.
short.
Yeah, too.
Yeah, hey, JSN. Welcome to the 1,700 club. A couple of my guys. in
JSN
there.
had
Yeah.
the 8th most receiving yards in a single season all time. When you look at the targets that he has compared to everybody else in the race, or like everybody else ahead of him, it's not like it's like 15 to 20 plus targets off. Like the difference between him and Calvin Johnson was 171 yards. The difference in targets was 41 targets. Calvin Johnson had 205 targets that year. JSN had 163 this year. So while he did have a big target share, he wasn't even top 4 in targets this year. Like Puka Nacua, he missed a game. He had more targets than JSN. Like JSN, if he got force fed more, I think we are talking about him breaking the record. But when they were up, they really didn't make it a point of emphasis to like just force feed him and try to get him the record. Kind of like how Myles Garrett, I guess, they try to pass rush as much as possible to try to get him the record. And yeah, I feel like JSN, he could have very well broken it if they really emphasized it.
Yeah, JSN's, first of all, same vibe. Him and Puka, amazing seasons. JSN is my OPOI. Just been consistently great all year, been able to win, be the only kind of, I want to say, elite or great to elite weapon on this offense for Seattle, a team that likes to run the ball. That's not super efficient, especially early in the year, but they love to get that ball to JSN, his ability to get open, get out downfield, and win in the short intermediate. I got JSN winning it.
It's a 2-man race. It's really
Shout out
just,
CMC, man, for
shout
getting
out
back in it.
CMC. You're right. CMC deserves some love. Rest in peace to Jonathan Taylor, who I think would have been firmly in this conversation if it wasn't for the cold season completely
People say
derailing.
that, bro.
I didn't say anything. I just looked at you.
I just know that you're a big.
Rest in peace,
People
man.
say rest in peace. You're like, he's
RIP.
alive.
He's very much alive.
That does throw me off.
His
man.
OPOY
His
is dead.
OPO, yes,
They was
his
calling him better than
OPOY
Saquon.
chance is
Still
definitely
might be.
dead.
No, it's about the year.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I got JSN. I think between him and Puka, it's really close. I think the big playability you got from JSN, 16 catches of 20 plus yards, was the most in the NFL this season. Joel mentioned some of this stuff. Targets between Puka and JSN, they were within 3 targets of each other, but Puka did play in one less game. Stylistically, they're 2 very different players because it feels like even though they were only a few targets off, it feels like everything runs through Puka. While with JSN, it feels like a lot of explosive play, especially early on in the season where just the receptions, the yards per reception, the targets he was getting compared to his receiving yards just felt ridiculous. And even still, with all the numbers finalized, it's still pretty crazy. Still over 15 a catch on nearly 1,800 yards is just ridiculous. But the fact that he broke out into this player that he was, I think what a lot of people were expecting him out of college, and then you have some bad coaching and some bad situations. You have receivers in front of you. But this is the dude that he was at Ohio State, and I'm happy that this is the player he is now.
100%, man. JSN was incredible this year. I lean Puka Nacua. I think he missed one less game, and I think that if he plays in it, we're talking about the yards leader, and I think that could be the difference in this one. Missing one less game, being a part of the best offense in football. I still lean with Puka Nacua. I think that just like you mentioned, with Devontae Adams being on this team, the offense ran through Puka Nacua. It was very obvious that it was his receiving core. He is the leader on that receiving core. He's the best player on that receiving core. And coming into this season, not a lot of people believe that Puka Nacua would be the number one, which to me I thought was crazy, especially after last season. But this year kind of stamped it. Puka Nacua solidified himself as, at a minimum, a top 4 receiver in this league. At the absolute floor, he is top 4. He's that dominant. So I look at him and I think you play that one more game, we're probably talking about the yards leader. But listen, it's going to be a race where my OPOY is Puka Nacua. But JSN being a part of the team that's the number 1 in the division, him being the yards leader, tied in touchdowns, I'm very understanding as to why JSN will win this award.
Defensive player of the year, it's round table Myles
Easily,
Garrett.
no doubt.
Broke the sack record, 23 sacks.
Well, I don't even think that was a fake. People were talking about the last sack. The get off was just so quick. Like they have a still shot of him basically being parallel with the left tackle and no one else has moved. People say like, oh, Joe Burrow just like slid down. I don't think Burrow was just like giving Myles Garrett the sack record. Division rival. I just don't think that's
yeah, he got off so fast, bro.
It wasn't the prettiest.
No, but it wasn't like Brett Favre.
5 minutes left in the 4th. He kind of just was like,
It was a competitive game,
crazy.
Though. It was a close game. It wasn't like it was a blowout.
Yeah. I mean, the Browns had a potential game winning.
No, if you look at the pass rush snaps, Myles Garrett versus T.J. Watt and Michael Strahan, he had less this year.
He did.
He had
drastically.
He had like 100 less.
Yes, drastically less.
Yeah, extra game, but less snaps. So
so he deserves Defensive Player of the Year.
it's true.
Still not that impressive in comparison. Like, and then no, last 3 weeks.
No, he definitely. For a second, it felt like, is he gonna choke this? But
it felt like he could have got like 25 at one point, and then it fell off.
Gagged it.
He did have these games where he had like 5 sacks in the game, and then he would disappear. Like
when it got to this, where he went almost 3 games without a sack, there was a part of me that was rooting against him.
But the Steelers game, it was so obvious that Rodgers wanted no part of it. Like
I agree with that.
His time to throw was like 2.1, something insane. Like Rodgers already gets the ball out quick, but it was the quickest of the season. He's like, I do not want him to break it on me.
But I will say that is a perfect example as to why Myles is the DPOY.
They lost that game probably 100%, because of that.
Because Myles, the idea of the record, it ruined their offensive game plan.
Yeah, for sure.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. I went Ted McMillan. I think he's the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I just feel like he's the gold standard of receiver play.
Amen.
Like 1,000 yards receiving, even with the extra game, I still think is the gold standard for a receiver. Jackson Dart was excellent. And if I had to pick between the quarterbacks, it would be Dart over Tyler Shuck.
You're not a Shuckster?
I am. I like Tyler Shuck, but I think that Jackson Dart was better against better competition. And I think Tyler Shuck is being propelled by like the winning late against the Titans and who else? Like, some really bad teams.
What are your thoughts on Dart being a running merchant?
Well, he does run a lot.
That's what I picked.
Jackson Dart.
I picked Dart.
Good answer.
Dart's numbers were awesome.
Ted McMillan, though, 1,000 playoff team and the offense being mid to like actually being passable
Dart
this
was
year.
He's like a minus 185 or something like that. Like he's right there.
I mean, listen, odds favorite, fair.
It's become a quarterback award.
Yeah. Who's my rookie of the year?
Ted was the favorite, though.
Ted's my rookie of the year.
Yeah. I like Dart for it, so I picked Dart.
The standard for a quarterback to win the award, Offensive Rookie of the Year, is like so low compared to what a receiver has to do.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think Dart, him coming in late in the year starting, and then him dealing with all those injuries and concussions, but him playing really well. I remember when he played the Eagles and gave them belt. And granted, he is a running merchant, as we like to say, but he is really good running. Like he is fucking awesome.
I mean, he beat the Eagles, he beat the Chargers,
he
almost beat the Broncos.
Bro,
like,
he be doing his thing.
Impressive
He
performances.
got some moxie to him.
Yeah, it's between those two. I also went with Tet. I feel like he's been the most consistent rookie wide receiver, the best rookie wide receiver, even though Luther Burn been giving him a run for his money the last few weeks. Jackson Dart, though, he's right up there. I honestly thought he missed more games, but he only missed one game, right? He missed the first couple.
I think he left one game early.
Yeah, I mean, he gets every game is going to the medical tent for something, so he probably missed like a half or something in there. But yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that really ruined his chances was just that Minnesota game, and one game shouldn't decide it, but it wasn't even on Jackson Dart. The game plan was just don't throw the ball. I don't know what the Giants were doing, but he was like 7 for 14 for like 60 yards in that game, or maybe less than that.
Maybe he was hurt.
Maybe he was. But then the next week he goes out there and lights it up. So either way, I think it's between these two guys. Jackson Dart was awesome this year, especially with the expectations and all the injuries that the team sustained. But I think Tet, start to finish, been the best and most consistent rookie.
Defensive rookie of the year, I had Nick Emenwari.
Yeah.
That was mine as well.
First in total pressures amongst all safeties, 6th in defensive stops, 1st in pass breakups. He can play in the box, slot, defensive line, and his ability to be so versatile is why the Seahawks defense is so elite, because they don't have to match base personnel. They can stay in nickel and dime, and he can act as a linebacker or a coverage player. He's amazing. He's an elite player already. But this defensive rookie of the year race was really close. A lot of players were awesome.
Schlesinger.
Yeah, he was a tackling machine.
James Pierce.
James Pierce had 10.5 sacks.
I will say
Abdul Carter played really well down the stretch.
100%. If Abdul Carter has more playing time early on in the season, I think he wins the award.
Yeah, there was a lot of great defensive talent in this class.
Carson was awesome. Linebacker from Cleveland.
Yes.
He was really good.
I'm saying his name right. Schlesinger, right?
Yeah, Schlesinger.
It looks difficult for me, so I don't try it.
Schlesinger.
Yeah, sure.
Schlesinger.
I just know I'm a fuck up, so I ain't even finna try it.
Say it right now.
Schlesinger.
What?
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger.
There you go.
Schlesinger.
Bang.
Schlesinger.
Bang.
Schlesinger.
You know English.
That
Even though that may not be.
Yeah, that shit ain't
The fact that I was just looking at the odds, because I thought Emenwari had been the most impressive rookie. Part of it is also like Seattle tax. The defense just so great that he's great individually too, but the players around him are great, so it's kind of easier to see. Schlesinger's minus 650. Like that feels crazy. He's been good, don't get me wrong.
And he's
been a dog.
You know what's crazy? Jihad was the favorite, and then Nakobe Dean came back, and he stopped playing.
Which is insane to think about.
And Nakobe was so fucking good. People were just like, I get it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. He really just took the award.
I wish he was a Bronco.
Who?
Jihad. We sold.
Campbell.
We did it. We
You
always
didn't.
take the criminals.
That's a fact.
Is
Was
Jihad a criminal?
that?
I don't know. His name
Oh.
just
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ.
Jihad.
That's profiling.
I can do it. If there's anybody that can do it, I know my people better than
11
anybody.
TFLs for Schlesinger.
Well, so you had Nick Emenwari too?
Yeah, I think he's been the most impressive rookie.
Minus 650 is a lock at the actually.
Minus 6,
It's
yeah.
actually
Even Warry
nutty.
is what I just had. It was like plus 3,000 or something ridiculous. So I mean, I guess I'm not trying to take anything away from Schlesinger. 156 tackles is 156 tackles. 11 tackles for loss, 9 quarterback hits, 2.5 sacks. I mean, I'm stat watching a fucking off-ball linebacker, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, he's getting through the tackles. But I think when I've been watching this year, Emenwari's been the most impressive rookie. Feels like he's been one of the most impactful rookies, and he's on the best defense. So
Yeah, comeback player of the year, I had Christian McCaffrey.
Easily.
100%. Dak Prescott, some love, but it's his award.
Protector of the year, I had Joe Tooney.
What?
I forgot protector of the award.
No Garrett Bowles.
Forgot about that.
No.
Lane Johnson.
Armand Membu.
I just think we had the best offensive line in football. I just think that
I forgot
it's
about
him or
that
Quinn
shit.
Miners. I just don't think they'd give it to a guard. But shout out to Tooney. I just think Garrett Bowles has been flawless this year.
Lane Johnson. Always, every year.
If he played more, maybe. But
I forgot it was an award for that now.
I do strongly believe that Garrett Bowles should win the award, though. I mean, as good as it gets for a left tackle this season, nope. Did not allow a sack this season. He was incredible all year long. But Tooney, I mean, there's so many great offensive linemen in this league now.
And then coach of the year,
Mike McDonald.
Great name.
I'm going with Kyle Shanahan.
I'm cool with either.
Even though he is in 6th?
I would have picked Shanahan if he won the
They
division.
won 12 games with all the injuries they had.
Late schedule. We knew it. We fake knew. Like, we fake knew.
Well, I had them win the division, so
Yeah. I feel like whoever won it was going to get it from me. And
Stop scratching.
Seattle won it.
my face.
White boy.
I would
What the
go.
fuck's that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
It just looks like you have a hive, so
Oh.
I would stop.
Thanks.
Pussy boy.
Listen, I'm still gonna stay consistent. My coach of the year is Ben Johnson. What a job he did this year in Chicago.
It's awesome.
The expectation to be last place, to being second in the conference. You can't say enough about the job he did. Overly impressive. I can do nothing but sing his praises.
First in the division, man.
I will say Sean Payton needs more love in this conversation.
Number one. That's a lot of guys.
Best record in the league.
Yeah.
Number 1 seed in the AFC.
He not top 5, bro.
But I can't get the logic.
Why is he not?
We're the best team in the league.
Why is Vrabel over?
Like, why Vrabel is over us? Because, again, expectation. That's what it's narrative. Like, Coach of the Year is more narrative than it is actual results.
Sneaky D'Amico.
Liam Cohen.
Liam Cohen? Fair.
Ben Johnson.
I said Ben Johnson. That's my favorite.
There's like 4.
Vrabel over Sean Payton makes me sick.
He's definitely top 5.
Sean Payton?
He's tough.
It depends. Like, I think Kyle Shanahan did a more impressive job this year. Given the personnel,
they played nothing.
The injuries.
They played no one.
They did play people.
Who?
They played the Seahawks and they beat them. They played the Rams. They played a depleted Rams team and they beat them. That was also the healthiest the Seahawks were all year. Beginning of the season, granted, but it was still a tough opponent.
1-1.
Yeah,
against both these teams.
Those are elite level teams, though.
In division.
Denver played some teams.
Yeah, played Philly.
They played the Chargers.
And the unit
Houston.
that Sean Payton coaches was not a top half unit for most of the season.
Second half, we locked in.
Like Kyle Shanahan coached up his side of the ball at an elite level, whether it was Mac Jones or whether it was Brock Purdy.
See, but again, but like
Mac was
Campbell will get credit for hiring Aaron Glenn. Will get credit for hiring Ben Johnson. You're the best coach on the best team in the division. You win Coach of the Year. We don't give credit for Sean Payton bringing back Vance Joseph into the building. Joseph coming.
Who was going to snipe him away?
Vance Joseph's going to get a head coaching opportunity this season.
But he's been there for multiple years.
Exactly,
now.
But he took because Sean Payton brought him back in.
But what does that have to do with this season individually, though?
The defense has been the best in football, arguably.
It was better last year.
No, not really.
I think it was better last year.
Only thing it did better was turn the ball over.
Yeah. I mean, I think the secondary was better last year. PS2 is
it's the same. It's actually the same, except I would argue Hufanga makes us better this year.
I don't know.
Hufanga has been
individually Hufanga has been great, but the defense last year I think is objectively been better than this year.
Not really though.
It's not. I just think it's when I'm watching them play.
Okay.
Even if
Nick Bonito was better this season
by far.
Zach Allen, although last few weeks Nick Bonito has not been what he was early on in the season.
He was objectively better this year than last year.
Easily. Dre Greenlaw when he's been on the field, obvious.
He missed the last 2 weeks, right?
He did. The hamstring fucked him up. Hufanga has been an immediate impact player. Brandon Jones is better this year than he was last year. We saw a lot less PJ Locke this year, which is a good thing. This defense is objectively better than last year.
I think y'all missing PS2 for some time. Also dropped your defensive numbers, you know?
And even still, when he's on the field, he's still the best corner in football comfortably.
Just what separates these coaches, though, is like maybe a win or two. Like
with the best record in football.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tied with the Seahawks.
Oh, you're saying, I'm sorry. Apologize.
Yeah. It's tied with, so, Mike McDonald, his defense, he coached up his defense to be elite.
I'm also going to be transparent. If your coach of the year is McDonald, shake your hand. Good point.
Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence played like a top 3 quarterback on a stretch.
If your coach of the year is Liam Cohen, good point. It's statements like this that Sean Payton are in top 5, which make no sense to me. Well, you're the head coach on the best team in the division, in the conference.
4 to you.
At minimum,
That's fair.
Floor.
I'm with that.
I mean,
if Vrabel's over him, it's narrative driven.
So
Vrabel doesn't have a better case than D'Amico.
Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen,
good
Mike
cook.
McDonald,
He doesn't have a better case than D'Amico.
Mike Vrabel took a 4-win team to a 13-win team.
Drake May.
The reason I think when you're making the argument about Sean Payton, I'm making the same argument with Mike Vrabel. Like, he's not. This isn't the offense. This is Josh McDaniels and Drake May became an MVP.
Yeah, but both units for the Patriots, statistically, they're top 10 units. They're top 10 in points scored and top 10
New
in
England's
points
not.
allowed.
Well, we know that
on.
it's not a top 10 defense. It's just the schedule has been
yeah,
very light.
of course, but still, like, they went from 4 wins to 13 wins.
He deserves consideration. I'm not sitting here lying to you.
We went from 10 wins to number one seed.
They went from a 10-win improvement.
Well, I mean, they can't win 10 more games. They can't win 20 games.
No, they can't. But I'm saying it was a 10-win improvement, and the difference between the Broncos and the Patriots was decided by 1 game. It was 14 wins versus 13 wins.
We also played tougher comp.
If we're being
like Mike Vrabel right now is like the clear-cut favorite.
And we played way better comp than they did.
What's the real jump in New England? It's not really Vrabel. It's Drake May.
Vrabel plays
it's-
a part for sure.
He plays a big part.
Not
in it.
to a point where you put him in like ahead of Sean Payton.
That's why I don't know. Vrabel feels like this is
I
a
don't know, man.
preseason pick that the public's just saying, okay, he's the coach of the year because before the season started, he was the favorite.
I don't know how
he
you
has the story for it.
I don't know how you can't give Vrabel credit when if you're using
deserves
argument,
credit.
There's a lot of coaches that get
at
credit.
least 3 guys I'm
but I'm
taking
saying
over him.
if
Maybe
you're
4.
making an argument for Sean Payne getting Vance Joseph, he brought Josh McDaniels back, and Josh
That's
McDaniels'
huge.
scheme is a big reason
That's
why the
huge.
Patriots offense was elite and Drake May was able to be an MVP level candidate this year.
100% huge move.
And Mike Vrabel, like whether New England or whether he was in Tennessee, we saw what he could do. We
but
saw how
Ryan
he can
Tannehill,
uplift the
Derrick
team.
Henry.
I'm not saying that Mike Vrabel is
He's a good
even
coach.
an average coach. I'm not even saying like he is objectively a good coach. That has nothing to do with what I'm saying. What I'm saying is exactly what Dells is trying to reemphasize with what I'm saying. It's not that their defense was the main reason they were successful.
So Mike Vrabel's knock is that he didn't coach a unit.
No, Mike Vrabel's knock is that he's not the number 1 seed. He did not play as tough comp as the Denver Broncos.
He's number 2 seed.
And we played better comp and had the better record. We were the better team.
Against teams that were common, you guys weren't as dominant as them. You barely beat the Jets, and Drake May threw 5 touchdowns against the Jets.
but
It was overseas game. I don't really care about that
I don't
game.
care who beats the Jets.
We went against the
by that many
Packers,
points.
who are objectively
No offense.
a gajillion
know.
times better, and it was one of the best performances against the Packers
And the Ravens
this season.
beat the Packers, and the Patriots beat the Ravens.
What? They beat Malik Willis.
Malik Willis was elite that game.
He's not Jordan Love.
But he was flawless in that game.
Stop it.
The defense was
He's
the
not
reason
Jordan
why they
Love, but he's
lost.
not Jordan Love.
Malik Willis was elite in that
He's not
game.
Jordan
He was an
Love.
A+.
He's not Jordan Love.
He
He's
didn't
not
make
Jordan
any
Love.
mistake in that
He's not
game.
Jordan Love.
Are you arguing to argue yes or no?
No, I'm being serious.
How would he answer that truthfully?
I think that you are just propping up Sean Payne because he's your head coach, but you're minimizing
head
the
coach?
You're
Yes or no?
I'm minimizing who?
You're minimizing what Mike Vrabel did this year.
I'm saying he's
they went from worst to first,
And
They're
the
second seed in
Broncos-
AFC.
Well, that's the case. Ben
Broncos
Johnson
were
should be
in
ahead,
third
you
to
know?
first,
You won 10 games last year,
and we
you
went
won
to the
division.
1 seed.
That's a big
We're
jump.
the best
They're
team in the
big jumps.
conference.
They went from worst to first. They won 13 games.
It was an
And their
unbelievably
quarterback is an
impressive
MVP.
thing. And
And they had a
Drake
top 10
May-
offense and a defense.
Drake May is incredible.
And if the art you're using the finding the coordinator for Sean Payne to favor him, although Vance
agree.
Joseph
This
has
is
been
a
there for
great point
multiple
you're
years,
making.
and since Russell Wilson's second year, the second half of the second year, the defense has been really good. Vance Joseph, the most elite part of Denver's team is their defense. Vance Joseph coaches that. So Mike Vrabel gets not because he doesn't coach a certain side of the ball, but yet Kyle Shanahan coaches up his side of the ball significantly better than Sean Payne does, and Kyle Shanahan is not over Sean Payne. Kyle Shanahan
You didn't have Shanahan over Sean
Kyle
Payne?
Shanahan with all the injuries
What I
he
will
dealt
say
with,
is, yes.
it was more impressive what he did.
Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, come on.
Brock Purdy, come on.
Brock Purdy.
Thank you. Just respect.
Christian McCaffrey.
They
No
won a
problem with that.
game with
Just
Kendrick
respect.
Bourne having 164 receiving
He
yards.
was,
the
he
Rams,
was
too.
wilding. He was wilding.
Nothing but
Jake
amazing.
Tonjes was a breakout player this
If I'm
year.
being honest, Sean Payton, Mike Vrabel, neither of them coach of the year.
No, it's Ben
With
Johnson.
respect, Ben Johnson, I think Mike
Ben
McDonald.
Johnson.
I think those are the 2 obvious ones.
D'Amico Ryan, we're here.
D'Amico
Ryan's
deserves credit
honorable
for sure,
mention.
too.
I mean, what a job he did.
That's a
The
better
turnaround
case
for
than
that
both of these guys
season.
we talking
I'm
about.
going to be honest with you, Riv. The only one who has a better case is McDonald.
Yeah.
Outside of Ben Johnson, in my
He started
opinion.
0-3.
For the fact that, what is his side? Defensive. And who's
be
the
like
best defense in the league?
You start 0-3,
He
end
was,
up.
he was the coach when he was 0-3, no?
I'm saying what?
He was the coach when they were 0-3.
Yeah, I'm saying you start 0-3 and then you come back and you're 12-5.
That's impressive.
No, yeah, I think
And you have
D'Amico
the best
Ryan's
defense in football.
he's a real
That's his
coach of the
group.
year candidate.
For
Yeah,
sure.
that's his group. Like those
He's-
his demons.
yeah.
Those
Yeah,
his
I
dogs. You know what I'm
agree.
saying? Yeah, like that's all I'm saying. Like D'Amico, if he won the division easily, I don't even think it's a conversation. But
I still think McDonald and Ben Johnson are right there with
no,
him.
I don't hate those two. You know, I like both of them.
Yeah, no, I mean there's a lot of coach of the year candidates this year. There's about like 5 to 7, dude, that are really amazing.
Unfortunately,
What a
we don't
race
have
this
one.
year was.
Yeah, we're going
Like one of the better.
I
like
just
most
can't believe
obscure
Vrabel's the
award.
favorite.
I am
Like,
shocked at that.
I can, but he's this heavy favorite.
Is he?
Yeah, according to Polymarket, he's like by far the favorite,
Yeah.
which is what the people have decided. It's not the market. You're not betting against the market on Polymarket. It's just a lot of people have the opinion
-370.
that Mike Vrabel is going to win Coach of the Year, but I don't think that he has the best case.